Hey guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives. Back for another episode of 6 with 6 Strings. Welcome to episode 8. Forgive me, I got a little bit of a cold, nothing major, almost gone. Feeling fine. Anyways, 6 random albums from my collection. One carryover from last episode. I'll show you that one right away. And then I kind of dug in, a little bit of variety here. A couple of things that, just inspired me to pull off the shelf this past few days, and I will show you those. And hopefully you know a few of these, and maybe there's a few favorite bands in here or something you've never heard before. Anyways, the carryover from last episode, I showed one of my, actually this is one of my all-time favorite albums from a very good band. And that's Armored Saint. I showed you the album Revelations last time, kind of a comeback album. And this is the one I'll show you today. This is Armored Saint, Symbol of Salvation. So this came out in 1991, absolute masterpiece. I love this album. Definitely a desert island album for me. Just not a weak track on here. If you've ever heard songs like Rain of Fire, A Last Train Home, Symbol of Salvation, Burning Question, that's one of my favorite tracks on this album. To me, this is the best thing Armored Saint's ever done, and they've done a lot of good stuff too, in between and after. Definitely check this album out. So I said that one came out in 1991. We know that John Bush went on to join Anthrax in 1993 for what I think is the second best performance of John Bush's, maybe not second best performance of his career, but fantastic album, Sound of White Noise from Anthrax. Contains probably my favorite Anthrax song actually ever, I think. Only. I love that song. Fantastic. Anyways, check out that album. Now, next up, this was a band I got to see in 1984. And at the time, they were absolutely the perfect opener for Judas Priest on the Defenders of the Faith tour. And I'm talking about Great White's debut, self-titled. Just love this album. And for me, I do really enjoy the first 6 Great White albums. Lost track of them after that. Actually, after Psycho City, so that would have been around, what, 95-ish? I'm not saying anything is bad that they did after that. I just lost touch with them. But this is a metal album for sure. Fantastic. So solid top to bottom. There's not a weak track. This is my original cassette. I do have the CD here. Here's the track listing. There's a cover of the song Substitute on here. Just a very good cover song. But check out anything on here. Out of the Night, Stick It, Street Killer. And my favorite track on here, No Better Than Hell. Great White. And after that, they, on their second album, Shot in the Dark, they changed a little bit. And then a lot, they went more to the harder, bluesy influence stuff on Once Bitten. And then their fourth album in '89, which was called Twice Shy. And then you had the album Hooked. Like I said, all good stuff. No doubt about it. But I just really prefer, this album is just awesome. And a lot of people's favorite of Great White. But again, like I said, they did great stuff after too. Let me know about any later Great White albums that should be that I should check out. Like I said, I just lost track of them after the 6th album. They got dropped from Capitol Records after their album Psycho City. And you know what, I don't know, I probably was just getting into some heavier stuff at the time. Anyways, next up, let's go with okay, in the scheme of things, I'm a little bit late to this band, late to the party with this band. I only own 2 albums from them, but they're both pretty much legendary thrash albums. And I can see why. They're just both fantastic. Talking about the band Forbidden. So this is their 1990 release, and like I said, I was a bit late to the party with Forbidden, but so glad I have these now. There's this one, Twisted into Form, and then their debut, which is Forbidden Evil. And I'm one of those guys who actually likes this one a little bit better. And not saying that Forbidden Evil's weak in any way, because it's not. But I just prefer this one a little bit more. Not by much. We're just splitting hairs. But songs like Step by Step, that is my favorite song for sure from Forbidden. Out of Body, Out of Mind, Tossed Away, One Foot in Hell. Definitely, if Forbidden has passed you by over the years, pick up this and Forbidden Evil for sure. Excuse me. So, yeah, I spun this just this past week. Fantastic. Excuse me. And coming up next is another band that I actually lost track of after their fourth album. But their first album, really good album. But their second, third, and fourth album is really where it's at for me. And I'm going to show you my favorite album from this band. And that is Dokken, Tooth and Nail. But between this and Under Lock and Key, Back for the Attack, geez, it's so close. But what a great album from Dokken. This is from 1984. This album contains my single favorite Dokken song, Into the Fire. Love that song. But such great tracks like Without Warning. I mean, that's the intro. Just Got Lucky, Heartless Heart, Alone Again, When Heaven Comes Down. For whatever reason, you don't know Dokken that well. Great starting point right here for sure. Very good album. But again, a band that I kind of lost track of after their live album, Beast from the East. That's kind of which is a classic live album. Very well done. Yeah, I lost track of them for sure. I think their next album after Back for the Attack came out in 95 called Dysfunctional. I've really not really heard much after Back from the Attack as far as studio albums goes. Next up, another thrash band. They didn't start off as thrashy as they got to be on their third and fourth album. But as I was digging for this cassette, I glanced over this one and thought, you know what, I need to pull this out and just to show you guys. I couldn't play it because my cassette player is, I'm looking to get a new cassette deck. The old Sony is done. Anyways, I'm talking about Laos Rocket, and this is their fourth album. And I definitely need to get this on CD and Know Your Enemy. Those are two that I really, really enjoy. This is my original cassette. This is on Enigma Records. Printed here in Canada, it says, so it's a Canadian pressing. I do have their first album, City's Gonna Burn, which is not as thrashy as, like I said, Know Your Enemy and Annihilation Principle, that is what this is called. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. But very cool artwork. What a great album this is. Fire in the Hole, Mob Justice, Chain of Fools, which is not a cover. But there is a good cover on here of the Dead Kennedys, Holiday in Cambodia. Pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eye out for Know Your Enemy and Annihilation Principle from Laos Rocket. Definitely would love to see some reissues of a few of their albums. Don't know much about their second album. It's called No Stranger to Danger. I've never actually heard that album. But City's Gonna Burn is a great album, and Know Your Enemy is a great album. So anyways, check out Laos Rocket if you haven't already. Let's see, what do we got? One more to go. Here's a band that, like AC/DC, number of bands who go through singer changes. Some out of necessity, some where, you've lost somebody as great as Bon Scott, and in steps Brian Johnson. But this band had a second great singer that I really enjoy, but I enjoy both David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. But today I'm going to show you an album that I spun just this week. This is Van Halen's what is it, their 9th studio album overall. 3rd with Sammy on vocals. This is called For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I will just take this out, prevent that glare. But yeah, really, if you're, into Van Halen, this is definitely one to check out. It has got some really killer stuff. I actually got to see them on this tour. And Pound Cake, Judgment Day, Run Around, great song. And another great track, Right Now. So yeah, either, are you a fan of David Lee Roth or Sammy, or, they also had Gary Sharon from, I forgot the band, Extreme. Gary Sharon on one album. But yeah, this is definitely, I don't know, out of the Sammy era, this would probably be my 2nd favorite from them. I really like 5150. It's a great album too. And OU812 in Balance, all good stuff. And anything from Sammy as far as solo albums go. So anyways, that is it from this episode. Hopefully you've seen something you like or something you'd like to check out. Any other recommendations for me, definitely put them in the comments. I have my long list of stuff to check out. Little bit of variety in this one. Little bit of thrash, little bit of hard rock, little bit of metal. But thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And we will see you in the next video. And until next time, stay heavy.